Zap, 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 lightning, zap, zap, lightning, lightning.
Hello everybody, and in today's video I'll be talking about the World Cup group stage draw which just happened a few days ago. Since I already saw the World Cup group stage draw, this really isn't a reaction video, but since I'm not doing this as a prediction video because I'm saving that for a few weeks from now, this video will pretty much just be running through all the groups and pretty much explaining which ones might be groups of death and comparing them to the World Cup groups from 2018 since many teams have similar groups. The first group at the 2022 World Cup, Group A, will have Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and the Netherlands. Usually the host country of the World Cup opens proceedings with the first match of the tournament, but I think that for this World Cup, Qatar will get the third match of the tournament behind the Senegal versus Netherlands match and a match from Group B. Qatar's match versus Ecuador will happen later because it's an inconvenient for Ecuador fans to be watching the game, because back in Ecuador it would be 2 or 3 a.m. I think when the game is happening if Qatar versus Ecuador was the opening match of the World Cup. Group A seems to be a pretty balanced group though, where any of the 4 teams could go through. You would expect Netherlands to top the group, but who knows, because Qatar are the host, so they might have advantage because they're playing on home soil, but Ecuador has impressed in the South American World Cup qualifying, and also Senegal has been a pretty solid national team. In Group B, there's England, Iran, the USA, and the European playoff spot winner. The European playoff spot winner will be either Wales, Scotland, or Ukraine, and I predicted it to be Wales. This will be an interesting group as there's going to be a rematch between England and the USA from I think the 2010 World Cup, when the US were able to steal a draw against England to top their group at the 2010 World Cup. Since I predict Wales to get through the European playoff, another interesting match in this group will be England versus Wales. It will be interesting to see 2 British nations in the match at the World Cup. And if Scotland somehow managed to get through Wales, that would make it even more interesting because England and Scotland have a very big rivalry. But other than that, you can't just write off Iran either, as they have some star players in Mehdi Touemi and Sarda Azmoun who might be able to help them along to a World Cup round of 16 spot. But this group is pretty much just as unpredictable as Group A, but you would think that England would get through this group pretty easily. Moving on to Group C, I feel very bad for Saudi Arabia. They're gonna get toasted by Argentina, Mexico, and Poland. Honestly, I think they might come out of this group with at least a negative 15 goal difference. Argentina, Mexico, and Poland are probably going to run up big score lines against them, but pretty much the deciding factor of this group will probably be the Mexico versus Poland match for second place, because Saudi Arabia is pretty much a lock for 4th place and Argentina for 1st place. It's pretty much just a fight between the 2nd spot to go to the round of 16 and who's going to go home. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Lewandowski got top scorer at the World Cup by scoring a double hat trick versus Saudi Arabia. Group D will contain France, Denmark, Tunisia, and the first Interconfederations playoff winner, and I'm predicting that winner to be Peru already, so pretty much the group will have France, Peru, Denmark, and Tunisia. France, Peru, and Denmark were all in the same group in 2018, but Tunisia will be replacing Australia from that group from 2018. This group is pretty unpredictable because who knows how France will do, because usually the champions of the World Cup usually go out in the group stages of the next World Cup. But this group does seem kind of easy for France, so honestly this group is just as unpredictable as all the other groups so far. One team who probably won't have a good time in this group is Tunisia, who just barely scraped their way into this World Cup. Honestly, I don't see them doing much of the World Cup, and they're probably going to finish bottom of the group. Moving on to Group E, we have Spain, Germany, Japan, and the second Interconfederations playoff winner, who I'm predicting to be Costa Rica. So the group will be Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. Now this group is looking pretty exciting, as pretty much any of these teams could go through. At the 2014 World Cup, everyone thought Costa Rica would go out at the bottom of the group, but they got out on top ahead of England and Italy. So who knows, maybe Costa Rica will be a giant killer in this World Cup. Japan also has the ability to be a giant killer, as they have some very talented players in their squad, and they could potentially knock out Spain, Germany, or both. Who knows, maybe Costa Rica and Japan would both go through and Spain and Germany would both be eliminated. So this group is pretty unpredictable. That is assuming Costa Rica beat New Zealand in the Interconfederations playoff though. If New Zealand beats Costa Rica, I might have to delete this part of the video because then I'll sound kinda dumb. Next in Group F, we also have a very unpredictable group with Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. All of these teams have been good recently, and all of these teams have a very good chance of getting out of the group. Canada topped CONCACAF World Cup qualifying, Morocco pretty convincingly qualified from Africa, and Belgium pretty convincingly qualified from UEFA. Croatia had a late scare against Russia, but they were still able to get through to the World Cup pretty easily though. You would expect Belgium to top this group, but this is a really who knows group where Croatia, Morocco, Canada, or Belgium could all end up 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. Moving on to Group G, which is almost exactly the same as the 2018 World Cup, we have Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. Brazil, Serbia, and Switzerland are exactly the same, but in this one, instead of Costa Rica, there's Cameroon. I'm pretty sure Brazil's going to qualify without a doubt, but then Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon are all going to be fighting for that last spot. Some people are just going to white off Cameroon as a weak team that'll finish bottom of the group, but I'm pretty sure that the fight for that second spot is going to be vicious. Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon are all going to be fighting very hard for that spot, and it's very unpredictable who will finish in the second spot. And the last group, Group H, which I think will be the most exciting group of them all, is Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. But you really can't like this stuff, as Ghana and Uruguay get a rematch from the 2010 World Cup quarterfinals, which was a very controversial match where Luis Suarez used his hands to block the ball from going into the net, which would have sent Ghana through to the World Cup semifinals. Ghana would have been the first African team to ever make the semifinals, but instead it went to a penalty shootout where Uruguay were able to prevail controversially. Uruguay versus Ghana will be an extremely tense match, especially because Luis Suarez still plays for Uruguay and there are some Ghanaian players who still play for the Ghana national team. This will most definitely not be a friendly match, and expect to see lots of yellow cards and probably even a red card or two. Other than that, Portugal is in this group who have a wealth of attacking talent, but their coach seems to play more defensive football, so who knows if he'll be able to utilize all the offensive players. On paper, Portugal have an extremely talented squad, but depending on what the coach does, he could just throw that advantage away and Portugal could just exit the World Cup in the group stages. Some of the attacking talent they have include Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Cristiano Ronaldo, Diego Jota, and also Rafael Leao and Otavio. And that's not even all their attacking players I could name. I could name a lot more, but for the purposes of keeping this video shorter, I'll just go on to the next team. Moving on to South Korea, they have one of the world's best players in Heung-min Son, and also have a really good striker in Hwang Hee-chan. I really think that any four of these teams could get out of the group, and any four of these teams could falter. Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and Korea all have really good chances of getting out of this group. Alright everybody, that's it for today's video. Leave your opinion about all these World Cup groups in the comment section down below. Which ones do you think will be groups of death, and which teams do you think will get out of their groups easily? Remember to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and ring the notifications bell. Bye.
Created by The Lego Dude. Produced by The Lego Dude. Directed by The Lego Dude. Paid for by The Lego Dude. Edited by The Lego Dude. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave a like.